And among the top priorities on Biden's last-minute sabotage campaign, well, expediting his war on American energy and your way of life. The latest appliance to fall victim to this administration, in the name of climate change, naturally, is your natural gas water heater.
But that's not all, folks. Old Joe delivering an 11th hour anti-American boondoggle, a sweeping offshore oil and gas drilling ban on 625 million acres of federal waters through executive action.
Now, none of this is going unnoticed by Trump. He posted on Truth Social the following: Biden is doing everything possible to make the transition as difficult as possible, from lawfare, such has never been seen before, to costly and ridiculous executive orders on the Green New Scam and other money-wasting hoaxes. Fear not, these orders will all be terminated shortly, and we will become a nation of common sense and strength. MAGA. Let's
bring in former Energy Secretary and former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Governor, always a pleasure to see you. More than 500 million acres offshore that Joe Biden has laid on this, what is in essence a blanket ban. And the way it was done, it's a law that is more than 7 decades old. It makes it very difficult for President Trump to reverse it. What is the point other than just to be a you-know-what on his way out the door?
You nailed it, Dagan. That's exactly what he's doing. This is sophomoric, and it's if it wasn't so serious, this would be sophomoric. This would be, I wouldn't doubt if this administration doesn't hide the keys to the White House so that we can, mess with Donald Trump at the last moment is the last thing that we do. That's how juvenile this administration is. And again, I think you said it earlier, we don't know who's in charge. It's probably just some radical environmentalists that are on staff there that are coming up, well, let's put this in there. Let's do this. And listen, there's another, almost 2 weeks left in this administration. There's no telling what we will see them do, up to and including, turning loose everybody out of Guantanamo is something that they could come up with. I mean, it's that wild a scenario, and January the 20th can't get here soon enough for this country and for the world, frankly, to get back so that our allies know that we're going to be a stable source of energy. The people who rely upon this oil and gas industry to pay for their families' care and upbringing, to know that we don't have enemies of the state, frankly, in the White House doing incredibly long-term damage to this country. Can't wait for January 20th to get here. Can't get here quick enough.
Governor, we've heard from the Democrats, and it's a talking point in the media and from this White House when it suits them, that actually there's no war on energy under Biden. That's a right-wing myth, and look at all these records they're setting. But then with a lot of their other policies, they're telling their green environmentalist friends, oh, actually, never mind, we're clamping down. Here's a last-minute 11th hour move in a lame duck portion of this presidency that seems to go to the heart of what the Democrats actually believe on these issues, right? This is the proof being in the pudding.
Yeah, spot on. Look at the LNG pause that they put in place. That was nothing but to punish those states that are substantially oil and gas oriented. They're generally red states. But more importantly, it is playing to the radical left that these people cater to day in and day out without any thought about what it's going to do to national security, the message that it sends to our allies around the world, and more importantly, the message that it sends to our enemies around the world, that America is not stable from an energy standpoint. President Trump understands to his core that our economy, our national defense, all relies upon a stable, powerful American oil and gas industry. When we have that, the rest of the world has to pay close attention to what this country does. So having a vibrant, strong oil and gas industry is tantamount to America being the powerful country that it is, that it should be, and that our allies expect us to be.
Before we go really quickly, Governor, the Biden administration's 5-year oil and gas lease plan that they put out a few months ago, had the fewest lease sales, just 3 on record.
Yeah.
That's who they are. How can President Trump and the people under his leadership get us back to being the world's swing producer, where we have the most excess production capacity, where we control the price of crude oil on the global stage? Can we get there?
Yeah, absolutely. President Trump chose Governor Burgum. He chose Chris Wright, 2 stunningly powerful individuals when it comes to understanding the energy industry, not just the oil and gas side of it, but the small modular nuclear reactor side of it, making sure that we have an all of the above energy policy. The president understands that. On this issue of taking all of these lands, all of these offshore leases out of production that he just did with an old statute, I think the president has the power. I think the president has the ability, the leverage with this Senate, with this House, to go in and change that statute back to where those properties can be back into production again. I suspect that you'll see a big push out of the Trump White House to work with Congress to make that happen, and it should. That ought to be an easy fix where we go back in and say, look, we know you were being cute, President Biden, but so much for your cuteness.
Rick Perry, Governor, thank you so much. And with that, I say boom shakalaka.
Amen.
Thank you.